moving forward, we will discuss ordinance number 2018-05, which was vetoed by the mayor on April 13th. Just make sure I got my dates correct. Yes, April 13th, 2018. That's an ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting chapter 464 rental property in its entirety and replacing it with a new chapter 464 rental property. I would motion for override.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, I'd like to gauge council's opinion of the letter we received from the housing inspector regarding the enforceability and whether our current provisions in the budget are enough to accommodate the changes we've made in this ordinance.
Is council SEL or CIL?
Oh, no,
Okay.
my colleagues, I apologize.
So, in my opinion, and I can't speak for everyone else, but I do believe, because it's revenue generating, with the inspectors that with the inspector that we would be hiring is revenue generating, I do believe that it would fill out, like we would be able to, it would be cost effective. If you're asking what my feeling is on the letter, I've said it since day one. Do your job, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. And I understand they're backlogged, and I don't, but that's their job.
Sorry, I meant more to the position of the enforceability as of today and whether the positions that we've made in the budget are satisfactory. Because when I look at the numbers, I know we're going to, based on the mayor's recommendation, retain an outside firm for inspections based on the current budget proposals. But at 2,000 individual units per year, I'm not sure if just the one additional, the $50,000 is going to be sufficient. We might need to consider adding to that in order to make sure that this is enforced.
I'm open to that, Council guy. Councilman Vick.
I'm open to that as well, but it is revenue generated.
It is.
It sustains itself. I don't have to wind this watch anymore, you know why? Because the sun hits it. When I move, the hands move. So the more inspections we get someone, like I said, the best in the country, I don't care where they come from. It'll sustain itself, like my watch.
Yeah, my concern is, well, it might be revenue neutral. I don't think we're going to be allowed additional funds if we exceed our expenditure on that particular line item until November. And I don't know if that's going to be enough time to catch up on the deficiencies, and we're going to find ourselves back in the hole where they're behind inspections midway through 2018.
So, you'd like to add to the budget, to amend it?
Yeah, I think that if we want to see this properly enforced, we're probably going to have to add to the size of that contract in order to accommodate these, because just looking at it mathematically, if there are 2,000 units, that'd be 2,000 inspections per year, assuming that they're all 100% satisfactory at the time of inspection. If you accommodate free inspections at whatever percentage you want to, that adds another few hundred that are going to have to be completed for re-verification.
Councilman, I'd like you to take a look at Mr. Merlot.
Sure.
And apologize in advance.
I apologize.
Because I have a feeling, just by the look on his face, he's loving us right now. But I have to agree with Councilman Davis. So, okay. Amend it. Do you have a dollar figure?
I honestly can't speak with any practical knowledge because I haven't engaged in contracting outside entities for inspections, so I don't know what's going to be the expectation for pricing on this function.
Okay. Bob, what do you think? Another 50? Another 50? And what does it do to the budget if we do go to another 50? Because as of right now, we're at a reduction. We're still in a reduction.
Very close, probably close to even.
Close to even, which means taxes won't raise.
Well, I think, would we be able to adjust the revenue item as a function of the projected inspections for 2,000 units at $100 a unit for the, no?
No, we haven't collected the money yet. You only
Okay.
anticipate what we've already got there.
Okay.
Okay, so that, like, the looking forward is only based on historical
Yeah.
look back, okay.
Well, we have one in the budget
It's-
already.
You doubled it from last year, which would take into account going from $50 to $100 registration, and you were calling everybody to register.
But it's not
It's-
like.
Correct.
It's in there, but you're gonna need a whole lot more.
Okay.
There is some revenue gonna be generated, but you're gonna have to vote more, like $2,000 or $3,000 more.
Well, like I said,
$100,000.
the quality of life, if it's gonna balance out and we go one more year, the quality of life of the residents means more, so, I'm certainly open to it, Councilman, if you want a motion.
Well, the alternative, Council President, I think would be that if we were to modify the ordinance today to revert back to the two-year plan, I think that would give us an opportunity, without committing too many funds from the town, to ensure that this outside contracting works in accordance with our expectations, without overly burdening or making us provide such a huge capital contribution, increasing the budget, without these revenues being realized first.
I have to politely disagree, Councilman, because I'll be honest with you, the two-year plan that they've had hasn't worked thus far. I know that we'd be hiring, but I'd rather put them on a time frame.
Yep. Agreed that we've had some difficulties. My fear is that we're gonna put a more onerous restriction on our department, and again, if we don't have sufficient funds, they're gonna fall behind again. So I would rather increase the funding to get them to come into compliance with the ordinances we have as written now, before we make it more restrictive, just to ensure that we are able to meet the first barrier before we jump to the second.
So you'd rather drop it back to 2 years and still hire another inspector at 50,000?
Yeah, and I think that would make sense for us, because based on the new inspection fee schedule, and like I said, with the increased amount of funds we're going to have with the outside contractor, and we'll be able to obviously gauge their performance, we'll be able to realize new revenues as a function of this per inspection fee. For 2019, we'll have those additional funds in the budget. We won't have to realize any additional tax allocations in 2019, because this will be realized, and we'll be able to both increase the schedule as well as add the funds. I think that's a reasonable plan.
Yes.
So in order to amend this ordinance, it would require.
2 readings.
Right, exactly, 2 readings.
Always. But of course,
What you can
that's-
do.
Yeah, and that's obviously with council's consent, but I just want to make a realistic endeavor. I think that this, the plan I'm proposing will both give the satisfaction and enjoyment back to the people of Phillipsburg, because we're going to have an obviously much more aggressive enforcement schedule, as well as making sure that we're not unduly raising the taxes when we could be providing some relief.
I have a hard time going back to the 2 readings, because they were back to another month and a half. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know, I can't speak for the rest of council. Councilman McVeigh.
I gave my initial thoughts on this, and I do completely understand where Councilman Davis is coming from. But it's kind of going back to what we've been doing, and I said before, what we've been doing is not working. If I'm asked to work, the rules change, and I got double the amount of work, I just got to do it, or I'm out of a job. So that's where I stand. I'm not changing.
Councilman Woods.
I'm willing to raise it 50,000 right now. You have to put in consideration, if you hire somebody locally and he's on our, we have to pay him health insurance and stuff like that. So that's quite a bit more than what we're looking at. So I think I'm going to stick with it.
Council
Can I
Vice.
chime in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give me 1 second, I'll go somewhere quiet.
Council
Sorry.
Council Vice President,
So,
if you wouldn't mind and just indulge me, ladies and gentlemen, it is just broken that the former First Lady Barbara Bush has passed away. So I would ask if we could just have a moment of silence to remember former First Lady Barbara Bush. Thank you. Council Vice President, proceed. Please.
so I understand the concern. However, I'm realistically thinking about this, and we put that money in there, it's mid-April already. 20-day inaction, we're in, well past May. By the time RFPs, we find a service, we're talking about August or September, so we're only talking about 3 months. I don't know that we need to increase anything at this point. This is a 2018 budget. We're not going to be, we're going to have 3 or 4 months,
Okay.
realistically. If this was a full year, I'd agree with Councilman Davis, but we're not talking about a full year of service. So I'm comfortable where we left it
Okay.
as it is. I don't want to go back to 2 years. I disagree completely. So that's where I'm at.
You should see his face right now. He wants to kill you. No, I'm kidding. I agree. Man, it's tough. I understand both sides, but I also understand the needs of the people. Councilman, I think we vote to go as is. And if we shoot ourselves in the foot, I don't know if you read the paper today, but it won't be the first time I've done that to myself.
Yeah, I just hope that if there are, because this is a new territory for us, that we're considerate of the hiccups and issues we might run into along the way.
I appreciate that, Councilman, duly noted.
Council President.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I spoke to some folks in that department on my recent visit up to City Hall, and I explained to them, we're not hard, we're not gonna be coming down on people, but we completely understand what's going on as far as the deadlines and the dates, and we're reasonable folks. We have to make hard-line decisions, but as far as that goes, we completely understand, as your sentiments, as you expressed. So I took time to speak with those employees in just general conversation. And then I told them that, understand, this is where we're at, just do your job to the best of your ability, and then no one's ever gonna fault you for that. You know, they're not gonna make a zero balance on these inspections the first year. It could take a while, but if we get the practice in place, the practice is in place moving forward. So when we're all out of here and they're all out of there and there's a whole bunch of new people, hopefully this practice 10, 15 years now is in place and our town doesn't look like the way it does. It's the longevity, it's the real big picture here, not the short-term picture of what we got going on. That's all I have to say.
Okay, roll call vote, Vicky? Unless anyone has anything else to say. Roll call vote, Vicky.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Phillipsburg?
Yes. The motion to override the veto by the mayor for an ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting chapter 464 rental property in its entirety and replacing it with a new chapter 464 rental property has been successfully overridden. Okay, so moving forward, and just so everyone's aware, I did have a conversation with the mayor, and he did let me know that he was vetoing it, and we did have a very polite conversation to where I think he knew that the override was going to happen, so there is no hostility here, okay? I do believe that he expected it.